Bermuda, on behalf of the Bermuda Football Association and President Larry Musterden, we are pleased to announce that Bermuda will play the England C team on June the 4th at the National Sports Center at 7:30 p.m. This match is a significant one, as it is one of the first times that an England team, official team, has visited the island to play our national association. The team, the England C team, led by Director of Football Paul Flurclough of Barnet, will compete against our national team, and we will have many overseas international players from Bermuda participating. Some of those players that will be here with us will be Dale Eve of Stoke City FC, Reggie Lamb of Toronto FC, Jonte Smith of Crawley Town, and Tareen Mendes of Antigua Barracudas. They will also be supported by some of our UK non-league team members, such as Antoine Russell, John Simmons, and Dante Lavrock. We also wish to inform the public that our star or elite athlete, Mr. Nicky Wells, will be unavailable for the match due to other obligations, but he will be on island, and he will be attending the match. And at the halftime, we will be looking to recognize him for his efforts with Bradford City for being an outstanding player this season, and also for being a great international ambassador for Bermuda. We also wish to note that His Excellency, Mr. Ferguson, the Governor of Bermuda, will host the national team at Government House along with the England C team, and he will afford them the opportunity to engage with him and offer his welcome to the England C team and the support to the Bermuda national team. At this time, we would like to open up any questions from the media.
Well, I mean, what, obviously the Island Games coming up, this is a big game in itself. What were you expecting from the team? What were you expecting Bermuda to show on Tuesday night?
Well, anytime we have a national team coming from overseas to the island, it's an opportunity for our players who do not compete internationally as a team as much as we could or should to gauge themselves against opposition. Having gone online, I was quite surprised that the England C team is not just a team put together as non-league pros, but they're actually playing U23 teams from all over the world. They've played against Russia, Italy. They lost 1-0 narrowly to Turkey last month or in February. So they're a team of non-league players, but they are competing against elite players from around the world, because if you're an under-23 player in a national team from Italy, Russia, Belgium, or Turkey, you are actually on the fringes of making your national team and playing in FIFA under-20, under-23 World Cups. You are a player of some type of ability and standard. So for our players, some of them are here in the room with us, to compete against their levels, for them as a player to gauge how good you are, for those in a professional environment to add that onto their resume, and for those players that are still looking to leave our shorts to add that to their profile as well, that they competed against some of the quality players from overseas.
You touched on it, this is a big opportunity for our guys here to impress.
Definitely a big opportunity for our players, opportunity for our coaching staff led by Mr. Andrew Bascom and Dennis Brown to see a wide array of players compete at a higher level than a training pool in Bermuda. The Island Games is coming up. It's often an opportunity for many players to be involved, and it's also an opportunity for those overseas players to come back. Being overseas, you are playing at a higher level, but doesn't give you automatic entry into a team, so they've had to come back, showcase their skills during the training sessions, and also shows those players that are here to see what those players are doing overseas and how they can actually try to reach their standards.
Obviously, apart from the key, you're pleased with the strength of the squad you've got available?
Definitely. I think this is one of the strongest teams we've had in quite a number of years. Just the fact that there are about 7 players overseas, not forgetting that the team is being led by Mr. John Barry Newsom, the captain, who's also a former semi-pro. We have Damon Ming, who actually played for Barnet, being led by Mr. Paul Flurclough, who's the director for the England C team. And then we also had Freddie Hall, who just recently was at Toronto FC. So, out of a squad of 18, there are probably 11 players that have played pro or are playing pro. So, that's a very high level, including those who have just recently returned from overseas as well, from maybe college or university. And we have players such as Terrell Burgess, who's had stint overseas as well. So out of a squad of 18, it's a very high talent and level. And to have about 8 or 9 that are currently actually playing pro in some format only bodes well for Bermuda. I think it's the future for Bermuda. For us who compete internationally, it's probably going to be 75% of players overseas and 25% playing in the domestic league. And it's no different from anywhere else in the Caribbean. You just don't have that talent level or that high intensity level games on a national standard weekly.
So, and with these players, obviously, in the team, you're hoping for a good crowd and good support.
Yes, we definitely want to have a good crowd. We do want to let the public know that, modern day football is not as easy as calling an individual up and say, Bermuda wants you to play for him. There are a lot of loopholes we have to go through. And the final time to get the team here or players here that are interested and available and getting out to the media, it's a very difficult timeline for amateur association when you're pulling players from all over the world trying to fly into Bermuda. But we want to say to the players and the clubs, those who made themselves available, the clubs that have released those players, and even those such as Niki, who has a great season, unable to play, but is going to be on the island to support his boys and to showcase himself to his fans and supporters. We say thank you. Without the players, there's no team that we can put together to even compete against the England C team.
I mean, it's kind of inevitable that Niki wouldn't play, perhaps. But I mean, you get disappointed that you won't be turning out.
Disappointed as a spectator, yes, but as someone who understands football and understands Niki, we can understand having played so many matches, putting your body through a rigorous season, going into a playoff system, knowing that he has other opportunities and challenges, and also he has obligations to his current club, Bradford FC. We have to understand that he's a professional, and you have to listen to others, and he has much more knowledge about his game and his body and his physical ability at this moment than the average person in Bermuda.
Can you expand a bit more on what sort of acknowledgements will be paid to Naki at the break?
Well, Naki created history, and it could stand to be corrected, being the first Bermudian to score at Wembley. So, normally there's a trend that we do everything posthumous. Someone passes away and we want to acknowledge them or they're out of the game for 50 years. We're trying to follow a new trend and say, you've done something now, let's recognize you now. There are quite a number of young individuals in Bermuda that look up to Niki, both here, but also in Bradford internationally. So let's give him the opportunity when he's on island, because we never know when he's actually going to be back in a professional environment. Let's recognize him. So it's more a citation that will be coming from the association, recognizing him for being an outstanding individual, for putting Bermuda on the map or back on the map currently in football, and also for just creating history for Bermuda.
Going back to support-wise, obviously a lot of youngsters in this team up and coming. How is it important to get the Bermuda public behind these guys?
It's important. We can use the American concept of 12 men. We are home. We should have a large turnout. We know there's a large overseas workers base in Bermuda, so hopefully they come out to support England, those who support the England team in any type of manner they wish to. But also from a financial standpoint, we have to understand that ticket sales or individuals that sit in the seat allow us to bring teams in. The England C team has been very accommodating to us, and we're very happy for our sponsors to have supported us, Friesenberg Meyer, Colonial, the Department of Tourism, and I'm pretty sure I'm leaving out one more. Very important that we have our sponsors on board to support us, but we also need individuals to actually come to the National Sports Center to support our team. The more individuals that come out, the team feels the atmosphere, but we also can look at our return and make every effort to offer more home international matches as much as possible.
It's only an exhibition match, my friend.
Yeah.
There's still some incentive. One of these guys go up there and really perform. Somebody could pass the word on. Remember what happened from Connor a few years back with the England Revolution.
Yeah. It's only a friendly, but surprisingly, I went onto the England FA website this morning, and if it's on their website under the England C team listed as fixtures and it's based as a friendly, it must have some significance. And they have not only going to play against Bermuda, they have traveled through the Caribbean and have played in Europe as well. We've seen Connor Smith receive a contract at New England Revolution recently, well, not recently, some years ago, by stepping on the pitch. So for these players here, you never know what's going to happen. We've seen a young player at a college festival in Bermuda receive an opportunity to go to Stoke City. So as soon as you step on the pitch or you're training, you never know who's on the sidelines. So, it's better to be on the pitch, or better to be in the squad and to be seen than to just talk about the fact that you should have participated. So opportunities are always there.
So that should give you guys extra incentive.
Extra incentive, and I guess it's time for the players to come forward and they can say how they feel about participating. And also an honor that, to play for your national team. We're not the highest ranking national team, but we are part of FIFA, and anytime you can represent your country at the highest level in any event or any professional environment you can, it's an honor for the individuals, the players, the family, and it's an honor for the association. We are part of CONCACAF and CFU, but anytime we can foster more closer relations with a association, such as the English FA, hopefully this may be, I'm not going to say an annual event, but maybe every 2 to 3 years they can visit, we can visit them. and even offer our players a more direct opportunity to work with the FA when it comes to scouting and finding non-league clubs and build a relationship with Paul Flirt Club to look at some of these young men here who are playing for those teams to maybe be a mentor or guide or even act as an intermediary with other clubs.
You're going to mention Paul actually, because it's actually, players I'm sure are more aware, but he's one of the most linked guys, I guess, in the lower leagues of football. I mean, he's well contacted. But it's almost like a trial for some of your players.
Definitely. Paul, I've met Paul some time ago, and I met Paul through the other Paul, Mr. Paul Scope. And having met Paul at Barnet about 4 or 5 years ago, taking the team, he's a very kind gentleman, very interested in development of players. And I'm quite certain at his level at Barnet, where they've just recently moved out of the league football into non-league football, if he can find a good buy, an affordable buy, a player that seems to have some talent at a club that is actually looking to bounce back into league football and maybe challenge financially, this is a great opportunity for players if you showcase yourself. I'm pretty sure Paul and his team at Barnet may take a first-hand pick of you. And there may be other players. I mean, all the other players from non-league clubs, if they find somebody, I'm pretty sure they may go back to their manager and say, hey, you know, we've seen somebody in Bermuda. And I think we have an advantage in Bermuda that our players are not going to cost as much as their players. So it's a great opportunity to get out on the pitch.
Well, the biggest thing would be fitness. The fitness to me from playing at a once professional level to international level, and then coming back home and playing at an amateur level. The fitness level is obviously key. When you're a professional, you're training every day, and when you're an amateur, you have a 9 to 5, and then you have a family, obviously, whatever, and then you play on every Sunday. You train 2 days a week. So I think the fitness level would definitely be that.
And how have you adjusted to that? I mean, coming from school, professional, international, now amateur, how have you adjusted? And then what do you think your biggest challenge will be on Tuesday?
Well, using all those things that you said, aid myself in experience. I still keep myself in pretty decent shape. I train with the national team on our allotted training days and try to do my extras on my own, beach running or whatever really interests me, golf course running, that type of stuff. But going into Tuesday, it's just another game. I mean, I played a lot of football. We all have. We played a lot of football, so it's just another game for us to play, and we play in front of our home crowd. And who doesn't want to play in National Stadium?
Well, if I was to play on Tuesday, I would know what to expect really from playing in non-league, and how the physical level is and the fitness level and the mental level. So it's nothing that I'm not used to now, but I know what's coming our way.
Now, you've seen some of the names of the players you'll be playing against. You remember them from some of your matches?
Just one player, because other players are not in my league, but it's just one player that he has played against Ilkeston, but I'm not too familiar with him at the time.
With Met Police, I can honestly say it was probably one of my better learned spells. I was enjoying my football, I was scoring goals, everything was going well. Obviously I played non-league, played against a few of the players coming tomorrow. But it's all been good. Going back to Crawley was nice because, you know, I was back with the players that I had started with, back competing with them for places in this team. And that was like basically what I wanted to do. I wanted to get back to Crawley so I could, you know, fight for my place, hopefully get involved as soon as possible.
Now, when you go back, what do you think your biggest challenge will be in getting in that team?
I think my biggest challenge will be pre-season. I'll be given a chance in pre-season to, you know, show the coach what I can do, play games, hopefully score goals. If I do well in pre-season, I don't see any reason why not.
All right. And what's your prediction for Tuesday night?
It's definitely going to be a close game. They're going to be strong and physical, and hopefully all of the players are up for it. I think we can edge it though.
Good luck.
Thank you.
How much does the game mean to you on Tuesday night? Give me an idea of the importance of it.
Well, it's my first time representing my country. It's always a big deal for anyone. An international debut. It's always going to be a big game. I'm up for it. I know all the players are up for it because it's a chance for them to show everyone on the island as well as people not on the island how good they actually are.
So it's a bit of a dream for you once you get selected.
Of course. Like, playing for my national team, it's like, it's no other feeling. It's like the highest part of football, playing for your country, especially in front of your home crowd as well.
As the game has come on the past year, have you progressed well?
Yeah, my game's going up tremendously. I mean, I guess a lot of it has to do with training regularly every day at such a high level with, well, great players at Crawley Town, but it's definitely come on a lot. I've gotten a lot stronger, a lot more physical. You know, I'm trying to become a more complete player, and I think I'm on my way to that.